Welcome to NeedleXChange, conversations on the art of thread. My name's Jamie Chalmers, aka Mr. X Stitch, and in this episode I'm interviewing Róisín Phelan, a contemporary embroidery and textile artist who works from her own drawings to build richly detailed punch needle pieces. This is the second part of our conversation, and we talk about practical punch needle wisdom, how to embroider water, and how she leans into a blocky illustrative style rather than going for photorealism. We talk about her cultural touch points. We talk about a fantastic fact about her that not a lot of people know. And we also have a lovely meander through the concept of craft as art and how everyone should draw. As I said last time, Róisín's a lovely person whose creative practice has got her grounded, and she just seems like the right person doing the right thing in the right place. So it was an absolute pleasure to talk to her. I'll be back next week with somebody else from another part of the Stitch version. If you have time to leave a review on your favourite podcasting platform, I would be very grateful. But for now, enjoy the show. Have you got punch needle wisdom?
What do you mean?
Like, because you've been punch needling for what, 5 years at least? Yeah. Punch needle advice for beginners, stuff you've learned that punch needle is capable of that you weren't expecting.
So I'd say that don't feel like you have to use the side, like the loopy side, the side with I call it the loopy side because when you punch it through, it makes a loop. If you wanted more intricate or detailed work, there's no one saying that you have to use the other side. You can just flip it and use the wrong side. I would say find that you've got the right needle, because otherwise it's not going to work and you're going to get frustrated and you'll give up. Mm-hmm. And that will happen pretty quick. So if you're using a really thin cloth, use a thin needle, otherwise it will rip. Or if you're using a thick cloth and you're using the thin needle, it won't stay in and all your loops will come out, and then that's just as frustrating. So it's a kind of, once you've got your tools and you know what works, there's nothing stopping you. It's not hard. It's just once you've got everything in place, it is literally just stabbing repetitively and anyone could do it. It's just, And also one thing I would say is make sure your fabric is tight, and you'll have to keep tightening it because otherwise your stitches will. Basically what holds the stitches in is the tension of the fabric. Right. So if your fabric isn't taut, then the stitches will just come out, and then that is also frustrating. So it's straightforward. It is not a difficult.
No. But so, for instance, I don't know if you know Erin Riley. She's a weaver, and she does these massive weavings, walk and wear shuttle, and all of those sorts of things. But when you see the stuff that she weaves, it's insane. The details of the imagery and the content's really often quite kind of graphic and edgy and stuff like that. And it's just big, woven tapestries. And it's obviously somewhere down the line, something's unlocked and she's just got the freedom to kind of do however she wants. Now, you like embroidering water, and water on punch needles to me seems like that's a pretty neat trick because you've got these physical constraints. And that's kind of where I was going, is to say, being able to do swimming pools and those sorts of things that you've done, that's got to take a certain amount of sophistication.
I don't know. It's the kind of thing you don't know you can't do it until you've tried. So
right.
I had the image I wanted in my head, and then I just gave it a go. Water is really hard, especially because I wanted to embroider people in water. Mm. So there's that whole other element of how your bodies change in water and how light changes. But I always work from a drawing. So once I'd done my drawing, then all you've got to do is embroider that drawing. So
yeah,
that's sort in my head. I'm like, well, I've drawn it so I can sew it, or I've drawn it so I can do it. But I mean, I think you have to have a certain level of just, what's the word?
Surety or something. You've got to have a bit of confidence, haven't you?
Yeah, kind of just thinking I can do that. Delusion, a certain level of delusion to do any kind of art. You kind of just have to look at it and be like, okay,
I guess
I can
one
give
thing
that a
that's
go.
quite useful though is like your style of painting, your style of illustration isn't like, this sounds wrong, but isn't very fine in as much as
No.
it's quite blocky, it's quite chunky, and so I guess that also then you're not looking. There's oh god, I'm not going to remember her name. There's a lady who embroiders like whiskey glasses, and it looks
I think
perfect.
I've seen them, and they're like like the ice cubes in it are perfect, and yeah.
Yeah, and fair play, because I don't know what kind of witchcraft that is either. But I guess thankfully your aesthetic means you learn to, like, your water doesn't need to be that fine, but you found your mode of kind of creating it.
Well, I also couldn't draw a whiskey glass that perfect.
No, honestly, it's ridiculous.
But I do think there's a certain level of, for me personally, and this isn't discrediting anyone who does do realism, but I could take a photo and then I have a realistic image of that item. But this is my interpretation and my artistic interpretation of something. So why do it exactly how it is? Why not just make it my own? But maybe that's because I can't. Maybe if I could, it would be like perfect realism. But whenever I see paintings of photos, like photorealistic portraits, obviously my first thought is like, wow, that's amazing. But then I also think, but what will you do with that next?
Yeah, it's not for you. You will know Nick Sharratt. He's written a few or illustrated a few children's books in his time, right?
Daisy, eat your peas.
There you go. All of those sorts of things. What is it? Oh God, we've had so many, like, oh my God, I can't think of the name of anything right now. But just books of like almost like choose your own ideas books.
Yeah,
like,
he does the write your own story ones.
Yeah, all of those sorts of things. Like, and he's a phenomenal artist. But what's interesting is his aesthetic is very childlike, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then there's ones of like pages where he's drawn like, oh, you choose. There we go. You choose.
Yeah, you choose. Yeah.
You choose. Brilliant. But there's one like, which form of transport would you want? And he's drawn all the forms of transport in his style. Which house would you live in? I'm like 1930. Oh, there's a 1970s mid-century bungalow there. I think I'll go for that, in his style, isn't it? He's nailed that thing. And then
but that is his world.
Yeah.
So that's like what I was trying to say with the brewery. Like, that's my world. So if you asked me to draw a train, I could draw a train in that style. And he's kind of locked into that now, where it's probably very easy for him to smash out a book design very quickly because he's got his world. He's got his. It's the same with like the Julia Donaldson books and
like Scheffler and all that.
Yeah, they've got their world. It probably took a lot longer to illustrate like the Gruffalo than it did the Highway Rat, because you see in the Julia Donaldson books, as an example, like the little Easter eggs from other books, like Gruffalo cookies, and because that's their visual world. And I think as an artist you should have a visual world, and if your visual world is unique and personal to you, then it's a lot easier to sit down and just create on the go, because you're not thinking about, you don't have to decide what you're going to like build. You just got to figure out what in the world you're going to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a bit like if you get a gig writing a comic, like writing the X-Men, and they've been around for 60 years, so you can't completely reinvent things because there's already the laws of physics exist in that world, and you're playing in your own laws of physics, aren't you? Just as an aside, I've just remembered actually Nick Sharratt's doing a thing at the local library here, and I don't have any small enough children, but I really want to go and meet him because he's a legend. And there's one book, and I can't remember what it is now, but he did this double-page spread of a koala playing a flute with a pair of sunglasses, and I was like, I really want a print of that because it just looks about as good as it gets. Where did your world? When did you start building the world in your head? Was that like back at school? Was that part of your fine art thing?
I think so. I think I always struggled with what my style was, because I love making and I love painting and I love, I've got 1,000 unopened craft kits because that's what everyone knows to get me for Christmas and birthdays. And then I never know like what to actually get around to doing. But I never had like a style. And then I think just right at the end of uni, before pandemic, I had a box of felt tip pens and I was doing a self-portrait, but I only had blue.
Right.
So I just drew it with blue. And then I was like, oh, I quite like that. So then from there, like I started drawing more and more blue people, and now like I only draw blue people. And like that became my kind of my style. And I think you can capture so much more emotion in the color blue than you could in any like any other color. I think blue holds a lot. And like, so something like that came from literally I only had those colored pens, and it wasn't like a big, deep, meaningful decision, and then it grew into something more.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
But then you gave yourself permission to lean into it, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes you just, if something makes you feel like you're going in the right direction, you've got to continue doing it and see where it goes. And then from there, obviously that went to the brewery, and then that had to force me quickly to create a whole world, because you're like, right, we need this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay. And it took so long because I didn't have a world to draw from. I was literally, doing one design that took a week, another design. And then as you slowly build up your bank of things that exist in this world, it just gets so much easier. And then, you can do one. My husband would be like, we're doing a new IPA. It's coming out next week. We need a label. And I can do it in the afternoon because I know what my people are doing, like in the world they live in. And so it's something like that is very much, it's just useful to have as like a bank to just be like, okay, cool.
And then you've also got like typography as part of it as well.
Well, yeah, that's just my handwriting though. I just wrote out all of the letters. Then I uploaded them into, well, I could have done it in such a better way, but I did it on Adobe Illustrator. So I've got, every time they need something, I can go like, right.
Yeah. That's
take
cool.
the words.
I'm a bit of a typography nerd. I commissioned a font once that's out on the outside of the building here, which is just like using very basic letter forms, because the gallery is called Platform, and I just wanted it to be a fairly like minimal logo, but I knew that I wanted the A to be a triangle and I wanted the O to be a perfect circle, and it kind of sort of leans into that a little bit, because I just was like, I want it to be fairly minimal and let the gallery do the talking or whatever. But I like that sort of thing. Right. So should we do the tough questions? Now that we've done the easy questions, and now that we're going to go, what are your favourite things that don't relate to reading to a child?
Yeah, if I say The Gruffalo is my favourite book.
Yeah, honestly, it gets there for a while. No, you don't. Dr. Seuss is a reliable, like we've had that. Yeah, we've had the Fox in Socks. I mean, what do you have a favourite non-children's book?
Yeah, I think I always struggle with, I think the reason I hate these questions is because I struggle with the idea of having a favourite, because there's so many different, I love reading, I love music, I love art. There's so many different things, and especially with like reading and music and films and TV, like I'm a rewatcher.
Okay.
So I have different things I like to fall back on in different moods.
Right.
My favourite, the book I think about the most.
Okay, yeah, good start, yeah.
Have you ever read 5 People You Meet in Heaven?
No.
So it's a really short book. I read it, I think I was probably 17, so probably a decade ago. And I think I probably think about it at least once a week. Just like the overall message of it is, you don't know how your everyday life will affect someone else. So it's basically the man dies, spoiler, and he goes to heaven. And then before he can like get to the end, he has to meet 5 people who he's impacted their life in some way. And for like some of them, it's like it's because he turned left at this street, and that meant that this happened, and so this happened because of that, and he never even met them, and he had no recollection, or like it's just such a minute decision he'd made. And then some of them, it's like, your wife or your partner, and you've obviously shaped their life. But I just, like small acts make big differences, whether they're good acts or bad acts. And it's kind of, you just remember like how we are all interconnected, and your actions do affect other people. whether that's for good or for bad.
Mm.
And yeah, sometimes I think about that a lot. Just even smiling at someone, you don't know what they're doing or where they're going or what they're thinking, and that could then have like a knock-on effect. Or not smiling at someone could have like it all makes a difference. And yeah, just that book personally I do really like.
That's lovely. It's quite a trip because I live in the south of the north. So Crewe technically is the south of the north because the next junction down on the motorway is like Stoke, and I think that's the north of the Midlands, something like that. And up here, people say hello to you in the street. You walk past someone, if you're walking your dog, everyone says hello. If they don't say hello to you, you start to wonder what you've done to upset this person you may have never met before or something like that. But it's just a really lovely thing. And even the other thing they do, I don't know if this is universal, but if you're pulled up waiting for someone because they're passing a car on the street, like they'll wave at you to say thanks, but sometimes you'll wave at them because you've just helped them out. It's like the nice version of saying sorry for something that isn't your fault. If someone bumps into you and you apologize for them bumping into you, but this is a smiley wave version. And then it's quite funny because I was down in London the other week and it 100% doesn't work there. Say hello to someone in London as they're walking down the street and they'll just scream and run in the opposite direction.
Everyone's in a rush, aren't they?
Yeah. But I think that's a very nice sentiment. I also think, I can't remember where I heard it, but I like the idea of Judgment Day when you die is that you just get a feeling of the effect that you've given everybody. So you get like this condensed version of the feelings you've given people, and that's like your judgment.
It's scary though, because do you think it would be good?
I'd like to think mine would average out. I mean, at the moment, I feel like it'll average out to being eye rolling. That'll be the main feeling I get or something. But no, I think that's the thing. You know, if you've been a complete arsehole your entire life, then that'll be your judgment. And it doesn't matter because you're dead and you're going to the great...
I think if you're having these thoughts, you probably haven't. You know, if you're conscious enough to think about it, then that means you're probably conscious enough not to treat people terribly, you know.
I mean, it's the only thing I ever say to my kids. Like, I don't really care if Annie wants to get tattoos on her forehead. I don't mind. As long as she's a kind person, everything else is irrelevant. Like, that's the single most important thing I'll say to them. Just be kind. So I think that's a good shout. So is that a book that you think about the most, or is that the book that you also reread the most? And if not, is there a book that you reread the most?
My mum always turns me off for rereading. She always used to come in my room and be like, what are you reading? I'm like, oh, nothing. Because I knew she would tell me off for rereading something. I can't even think off the top of my head the amount of times I've read different books. But
like, what kind of books? Like things like Lord of the Rings, like big, deep books to chew through?
I've never actually read Lord of the Rings. But yeah, like I love books that I think this is pre-motherhood. I loved books that made you think. So I like Sapiens, and have you ever read Religion for Atheists?
No, sounds good though.
No, or like The Body Keeps Score.
Right.
And just books that make you think about human nature, and especially the religion. I love ones about like Greek gods and, you know, all the Stephen Fry ones and those stories that have come from like people who fully believed that was the truth. And that's why I love the Greek mythology. It's because this was their gospel.
Yeah.
And now people mock it and they say, obviously that's not real. And then, but the Bible's 100% real. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, but this was 100% real.
Yeah.
But I think, I grew up in an Irish Catholic family. I went to Catholic school. So just the idea of one religion being obviously true and then all the others are obviously not, it just makes me kind of smile because I'm just like, okay, that sounds sensible.
So outside the gallery here, every 2 weeks we get these 3 middle-aged white guys, probably in their like 60s or something, who talk about God and Jesus.
Yeah.
They have a little loud hailer and they do the kind of you're going to burn in bits of hell kind of Jesus stuff, right? And it's fine. Like the first couple of weeks, like the first week they came, I was like, Second week I went and chatted to one of them because I wanted to understand why he was saying this stuff. So I tried to get under his skin a little bit. Then it carries on. Then about 3 weeks ago they came, and somewhere down the line, because they get up in people's faces a little bit, I think because they're a little bit carried away with it, but they started saying something that was homophobic, and we were like, right, sod that. call 101 on them, get the police down or whatever. They were back here, I think it was last Friday. And the minute he started loud hailing, I went out and I was like, right. I was like, be cool. I was like, I don't mind you. But I was like, the minute you say anything homophobic, you're out of here. Because it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't want to pander to it. And also, if it was any other religion, people would be giving them loads of grief. But because they're white guys talking about Jesus, they get away. But it just doesn't make sense. And they don't get it. I was like, I don't like celery, right? If I was God, celery wouldn't exist, but we wouldn't know celery wouldn't exist because it would have never been a thing. It's just a not I don't like gays, but they're going to exist. It doesn't add up, and they don't get it. And I was fuming when I came back in because I was just like, you put a foot wrong and I'm calling the police on you. And I was like, where did all that come from? But I was so defensive because it's so bloody irritating.
Oh, I think religion is one of those things that does spark something in people, doesn't it? Because inherently, why are you someone to tell how other people should live their life? And I think that's my problem with religion. It's just the control element of it, rather than if everyone just loved everyone, that wouldn't be the issue with religion, would it? It's the fact that it's then used to, you can't love these people. Oh, you can't love in this way. You have to love in this very structured way that is 100% real.
Yeah, because a man wrote it down 2,000 years ago. Yeah, you can't.
Okay, but these other religions, that's not true.
Yeah, God is love. God is eternal love. Terms and conditions apply. It's like, no, it just doesn't.
So I like reading just behind religion and behind why different. I find it very interesting how so many different religions have some of the same stories. And the events that obviously have happened in human history that people have made sense of them by writing them into different versions of different stories. And I think that fundamentally is interesting. But then it's what humans always do, is they tend to ruin things by, how can I gain from this? And how can this benefit me? And then obviously it turns into something bigger than just treating other people with respect.
I think you're at the start of your journey as a parent, but there definitely comes a point when you start apologizing for humans or apologizing for men and just be like, I'm sorry. You have to, do you know what you also have to apologize for? You have to apologize for the English language, because you have to go, this is the word enough, this is the word cough, but this is the word bow, and this is the word through. And you just go, I don't know, I'm sorry. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. Just apologize for all of those. Okay, so based on what you just said, is there a band or an album that you find yourself listening to more than the average? It's not a favourite band. It's
not my favourite band or my favourite album.
Yeah, I'm going easy on you.
But I do really like Noah and the Whale.
Okay.
Peaceful the World Lays Me Down, that album. Do you know that one?
No, the thing is, with Noah and the Whale, I think I association with hipsters from maybe 2012 or something, and probably haven't paid them much more attention than that.
Oh, really? I think it's a lot more like poetry than you'd think. That's why I like it. I like it when you listen to music and it's not just because the words rhyme, but because you can tell that that's come from something a lot deeper, a lot more thoughtful writing has gone into it. So, and also the range of instruments I really like. The musicality of it is calming, but it is, sometimes quite sad. No, I don't know. They're not together anymore, I don't think.
Right. The whale went back out to sea. It wasn't an actual whale. You've done some album covers, single covers?
Yeah, I've done a couple, yeah. So I did a jazz one, actually. It made me smile that you said it was jazz. And then I did one for my friend's band. They're more indie music. But I always find more pressure doing it for other people than doing it for myself. So it's always I hope you like it. Whereas when I'm just making it for myself, it doesn't matter if anyone else likes it.
Yeah. It's just going on 5,000 cans of beer. Who cares?
Yeah.
So who's your favourite band then?
What, my favourite band?
Yeah, if you said Noah and the Whale aren't your favourite band.
Well, no, because I don't think I have a favourite band.
Okay. What's your favourite genre?
Again, it just depends completely on literally on my mood.
Yeah.
I find it really hard to say favourites of things because
It's all right.
I don't know if I have a favourite. I think it changes.
To be honest, I don't think I do. I keep asking these questions. I have a clue. I just write them down because it's an excuse to learn something new, you know?
But I always I find it bizarre when someone's got a favourite genre, because what do you listen to when you're happy? You listen to the same thing when you're sad, and the same thing in the car as you listen to when you're like cooking in the house with your kids. And is it always just like one monotone? Like
just really love Boyzone. I feel like they've got a song for every mood.
To men. Like,
yeah.
There's a time and a place for everything. And
yeah, I 100% agree with that. We've what is it we've got? So there's this big screen that we're trying to program music on, and on Saturdays now between 12 and 2, it plays out just into the town, but we've put Northern Soul on Saturdays between 12 and 2, and we've put Yacht Rock on Sundays between 12 and 2. And I'm just trying to lead into other genres. I think we're putting together a Balearic, like, chill out playlist that's going to go out at like 6 till 9 on Fridays and Saturdays or something. But
yeah,
I definitely capitulate. Like, I listen to BBC Sounds quite a lot because they have some really good stuff on there. And they have a thing called the Morning After Mix, which is quite lovely because it comes out on a Sunday morning, and that's obviously quite laid back and stuff. But then there's also this thing called the Rave Up, which goes out on Radio 1 on Thursday nights at about 11 o'clock, which is like...
I think I've heard that in the car before when I'm driving home. I'm like, what is this?
But honestly, if you've got to get the housework done, it's bangers, absolute bangers. I'm up here in the gallery and I'm trying to like tidy up, or I've got to put some work up on the walls or something. I'm like, just smash a bit of drum and bass in my ears. Does the job. Fair.
My husband listens to Radio 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a random mixture of music.
Can be, but on the
weekend, be like car seat headrest one day, and then it's like complete opposite. Like sometimes you're like, what is this? Like, have I just been listening to like noise for the last 10 minutes? And it's not escalated into anything. It's just like robot sounds. And it's like, yeah, so that was a new piece from...
yeah. And just like, I thought my car is malfunctioning or something.
I've just zoned out.
I'm just having a seizure.
Yeah.
Okay, favourite film, most rewatched film, would that be the same thing?
I honestly don't really watch
last
films.
Good film you've seen?
My husband gets annoyed at me because I don't like watching films.
Okay. That's fair. What about telly?
Yeah.
Telly?
Yeah, we've watched we watch all the BBC, you know, like Amanda Land, Motherland, Here We Go, Ghosts, all of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I used to watch all of the American, like Parks and Rec and Community and all of that. But I honestly think since becoming a mum, I haven't got the emotional bandwidth for anything remotely suspenseful. Or I think I need to switch off that side of my brain. I don't need to be in suspense. I don't need to not know what's going to happen next. I need to be very much in control and, you know, rewatch the same show that I know exactly what's going to happen, because I'm just not in the headspace at the minute where I want to be like on the edge of my seat. I very much want to be in the middle of my seat, knowing exactly what's happening, and just do my embroidery in peace.
My wife watches Made in Chelsea for kind of the same reason.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but yeah, it's that kind of like mindless,
pointlessness,
background noise. Yeah,
that's fair.
That's what I can switch off to, and you don't realize you're watching it, so I end up missing most of it anyway. But because I'm like counting 10 stitches to try and like.
But also, it turns out you haven't missed a thing because nothing was ever really happening.
There's no like big things riding on it. You're not like, oh, I've missed the reveal, or like during COVID I liked watching like all the documentaries on Netflix, and now I'm just kind of like, oh, I know the world is an evil place, but I just don't need it. My world doesn't have to be an evil place right now. I can be.
Do you know what? That does mean that Schitt's Creek on iPlayer has landed at exactly the right time for you. I want you to tell me, once you get to the end, I think there's like 5 series, right? But when you get to the end of it, I want you to message me and tell me. Because you won't.
I'll give it a go.
The first few episodes take a little while to settle in, but honestly, it's worth it. It might make you cry. In a good way.
I don't know if I need to cry.
No, in a good way, in a lovely way, it's just like, it's so nice. It's so heartwarming, honestly. And that's what we need, It's a bit like watching Detectorists or something like that, where it's just like...
I did like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. That sound. Okay. Is there a fact that not a lot of people know about Róisín Phelan?
I wrote one down, but it's not that interesting.
I'll be the judge of that, I think.
This is just my go-to one when I had to do like introducing myself. So basically when I was 4, I think, is that how old you are in reception?
Yeah, let's say 4 or 5. Yeah.
I did a portrait of my dad, and my parents both worked for the NHS, and he was working in a unit with mental health patients, and they had an exhibition on at the Tate with their art. So he put my painting in. So technically I have had a painting
in the
Tate, yeah.
Before you knew how to read.
Yeah. Before I understood what that even meant, I was like, yeah, here you go. A stick painting of my dad.
I like that you thought that wasn't very interesting. That's amazing.
I'm not a very interesting person. I do not live an interesting life.
No, you're doing some cool shit though. So I think it's all
from
good.
My bedroom.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine, isn't it? And then you're going to produce humans, and hopefully they'll be kind people.
Well, that's what you can hope for.
That's cool. That's cool. Have you got any projects on the horizon or anything? Sounds like you've with coffee and cafe and children and brewery and just doing what you're doing.
I'm just trying to, I think we got so caught up in the setting up of all of that my own creative practice took a hit and took a backseat, because at the end of the day, when you've been working, creating, the thing you want to come home and do isn't unwind by creating. So you end up not doing it. And then I think I didn't realize how much I was missing until I stopped when I had my baby. And then I was nap trapped on the sofa for about 6 months because she would only sleep when she was on me. But I wasn't working. I was just kind of, existing. And you realize, there's this big part of me that motherhood has already changed completely your perception of yourself and everything. And then the one thing that has always made me feel like myself is my art. And I haven't done that in so long because I've been doing art for this business and for this business. And so once she started napping in her cot, that's when I started to, sit down and actually make for the sake of making again. And that's something that's been missing in my life. So I just kind of want to continue that and see where that goes. And my ideal job would be to be able to sit in my room on my own and be paid to make what I want to make for myself and not for anyone else for my whole life, which is unrealistic. But
you just got to make your husband's brewery sell out to Heineken or something, isn't it? That'll do the job. But that's interesting though, because if we go back to what you were saying fairly early on, it's as much about you reconnecting with yourself as it is, isn't it? Taking that time and going, oh, hey, Róisín, how you doing? What have you been up to lately? And going through those kind of processes, isn't it?
I think especially because when you've taken a step back from whatever you were stuck in, whether that's, it's been retail, it's been hospitality, it's been whatever groove of life, you're just kind of turning up every day and doing the same thing and coming home. And people ask you how's life? And you kind of respond by saying how work is. Or especially now, people are like, how's life? And I kind of respond in, oh, fine. She's crawling, she's walking. And it's like, that's not how I am. But that's what they actually are asking. Or you kind of default to reply by what your kids are doing or what your family's doing or how work is, and you realize you're not actually doing anything for yourself. So now it's like, oh yeah, I've been doing loads more art. I've been making more art in the last 6 months than I have in the last 3 years, because I've been so fixated on doing work and not creating. I think at some point in adult life though, you end up, you have to pay bills, you have to the work has to take a bigger part in your life than you would want, because you're not at uni anymore. You're not just being able to create.
I think to that point, I think you owe it to yourself to make sure you get that time for yourself.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about what you said there. Like, I had a really hectic day. Well, I've had a really hectic bloody last couple of weeks. But yeah, if someone asked me how I was, I would do that. I'd tell them the work I've been doing. And then yesterday we went to like this RSPCA open day because my wife volunteers down there, and the girls were off doing some brass rubbing or whatever. And I was able to just sit down, and I've got this like meditation app, Insight Time, and there's this like 6-minute box breathing thing. And just sat, and I was just sitting in this like meadow, and it was quite nice, and nobody could really see me. So I just stuck my headphones in, gave myself 6 minutes of breathing, and just, I don't know, looking at grass. And I was like, there you go. There's my little moment, because that's about as good as I get, because I get swept along with that. And I think that's a really important point, is to go, who am I? How am I? Not how is my work? Not how are my children? How is my dog? How is my house? Or whatever.
Yeah. It's just, but then you find yourself, when you ask that to other people, like if I see someone I haven't seen, I'm like, oh, how are things? Like, how's work? How's life? How, like, and yeah, we all exist outside of that, but sometimes it feels like that's the only thing that's going on, because the things you do at home in the evening aren't interesting. You know, no one cares that you've gone home and cooked dinner and watched TV and had a shower and gone to bed. So it's like, I will end up talking to you about work, because that's what I'm doing with the majority of my life. So it's finding time to do things in life that aren't about work and can still, you know, give you a sense of identity and peace outside of it all.
Yeah, and thankfully, if we look at your work, maybe a bit silly.
Silly, yeah. Just making for the sake of making, rather than, not everything has to have. I always, at uni, I always struggled, because sometimes it doesn't have a deeper meaning, and they're always like, what's the meaning? It's like,
yeah.
It doesn't have to have a deeper meaning. Like, it just is. I made it for the sake of making it, and that is the art. The art is me making it. I think craft so easily gets like kind of sidelined and put down to like, well, it's not art, it's like mindless making. And I'm like, no, it's the opposite. It's very mindful making. And any other, if it was painting, you wouldn't be questioning it. It's painting as a practical use. Like, I still need to paint all the skirting boards downstairs. I'm not going to, because it's not fun, but there's such practical application for other art forms. But craft is always put down to, you know, well, it's not fine art. It's like, well, that's how like people throughout history have been able to actually, you know, rebel, is through craft. There's some of the most poignant pieces of art hand embroidered by women who had no other voice. And craft is so powerful. Embroidery is so powerful. In like every culture across the world, there are different forms of craft. It's not just a white man who's painted something and that's art, you know, but that's what the art world can make it. And you've got to like fight twice as hard to get it seen as art, not as a hobby, not as anything else. It's like, well, this is art. I'm an artist and I choose craft as my art. And that is, the art is the making. The art is whatever I'm presenting, but because it's embroidery, it is, you know.
Yeah, it's like the craft is the art.
Yeah.
It's the making of it, whether you're making a cabinet or a dinosaur from car parts or a punch needle person of someone being attacked by a seagull.
Yeah.
Like it's all of that. But I think there's a lot of truth. I did a talk a little while ago, and it's like, get other people to tell you about your art. You know, don't feel like you have to say it juxtaposes a diaspora because you need to say it. Just say, I made it because I made it.
I know what it means.
Yeah, it made me laugh. I enjoyed making it.
But a lot of it is what it makes other people feel. And it doesn't have to make everyone feel the same thing. It's like when people tell you like, oh, I'm rubbish at art. That one always annoys me, because no, you're not. Just because you can't draw something that looks like the thing in front of you doesn't mean you're not good at art, doesn't mean you can't draw. That's why I think photorealism is like, it can be a bit harmful to people, because they think that because their drawing doesn't look like that, it's not right. And so everyone can draw. If like, you can draw, if you can hold a pencil, like some people don't even have hands and they can draw with their feet, with their mouth. Like everyone is able to draw. It just might not look the same as someone else's. And that is why art is so amazing. And that always upsets me. And when people are like, oh, I don't like art galleries because I never know what the paintings mean in like modern art. And I'm like, well, but you don't need to know what they mean. You just need to know how they make you feel. And sometimes they make you feel annoyed and you walk off, and that's fine. You don't have to feel like this overwhelming sense of awe about every single thing you come into contact with. Sometimes you can be like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got this staircase in between the two floors on the gallery, and I was thinking about whether we can put that sort of thing on the fronts of the stairs, so as you walk up, just like a dummy's guide to art, just going, if it feels like you like it, great. If it feels like you don't like it, great. As long as it feels something.
You always have to like talk to them like a child, like, how does this make you feel?
Do, but particularly, in some places people need that permission. They need that permission to just feel a thing about a thing because they don't know that that's what you're supposed to do.
They need the little written explanation next to it of what it means in order for them to know if it's good art or not. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, honestly. And that's what I quite enjoy about this place, is just putting stuff up. We've got an exhibition. Our next exhibition is with a bunch of schools. So it's an academy trust. And we did it last year. There were 15 schools and we had 270 pieces of work, but it went from nursery all the way through to A level. This is just brilliant. Because it was just all this stuff, and it's like naive and innocent, but the A-level stuff, they're trying to like find their voice and make a point. And you put nursery next to A-level. It's freaking amazing because someone's going to feel something, and you're just like, yeah, just go with the feels. That's what it's all about.
I think some of the most powerful art is the art made by kids, though. When you see like, this 6-year-old self-portrait or like a painting of his mum, and that is so pure because they don't understand what the art world should be. That's just a human has sat down and made art.
Yeah.
And no one has taught them why they should do it, or like it's not been put into their brain yet of what's right and wrong and what colours go together and there's been no like thought process other than just the simply like to make it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till my kids are old enough to make art.
Yeah, it's so good.
I just can't wait.
We've got a picture in our dining room of me and Mary just looking like potatoes, but that was the first picture that Flora ever really drew of us. Do you know what I mean? And that's perfect. Yeah, that's 100%. That's
it's like you can finally see the world through their eyes.
Yeah, and they're starting to communicate it in a way.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, they've got a punch needle, and you've gone, baby, put that down. Put that down.
No, don't tell them to put it down.
No, just that's it. Yeah, don't put it down just yet. Just don't put it in the dog. That's what often happens that way. Róisín, thank you for having a needle exchange with me.
Thank you for having me.
It's great.